I think what we have here in Hollywood is high art. It's
Party time, sparkle time!
We're now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more to your seat. Find.
Now, time to join our man at the movies, Collie MacPhaidin, with what's the very latest in Eclipse cinemas up there in Bundoran. And you've got a cold, no? No?
Not
No.
quite. I might be the
Okay.
only person, yeah.
Well, the only
What-
person in Ireland doesn't have a cold. Good gee.
Yeah. I have several colds all together at once that I haven't been able to shake for a while, but we're okay. It's actually relatively mild here in Bundoran. I think it's that howling sea winds that made it not too icy. But looking out the windows, I can see that it's we're surrounded by the icy conditions too.
Oh yeah, big
Nice and
ice stone
toasty.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, nice and toasty down here though as well.
Okay. You got a big release this week now, and Babylon. Like this is really out there, is it?
Big is the word. Everything about this movie is big. The stars are big. Margot Robbie is fast becoming one of my favorites. Absolute. From being in Neighbours and sort of I thought she was just a pretty face maybe when she came into the world. There are visions with like Wolf of Wall Street and so on. But ever since I, Tonya, she's one of my favorites. Brad Pitt, big star. Big director, the director Damien Chazelle, who made La La Land and Whiplash, and your favorite, big running time. This movie is 3 hours long, and the opening scene before the credits come up, it's about 25 minutes, and you've never seen anything quite like this opening scene. Not even the dance at the start of La La Land, which is actually my favorite part of La La Land, where they all dance on the freeway in LA. But this is a story about the origins, I should say, of Hollywood. This is 1920s Hollywood. This is at the time of the silent movies and mega stars, but yet nobody's quite sure what they're doing. Health and safety? There is no health and safety. People die on set and they go, oh, well, big deal.
That's the way it goes.
Roll in someone else. There's so much money made. Everyone thinks it's a fad. It's gonna go away. And some people are saying, "Oh, I think it's a big thing." There's a great bit where Brad Pitt talks to, like, I think it's his seventh wife, who's a big Broadway star, and he goes, "You don't know what you're talking about. 100,000 people in a year. You're the biggest hit of the year on Broadway." He goes, 100,000 people in 2 weeks, and my movie's a flop. So the scale of everything is huge. I suppose, do you have a clip? And
We have a
play
clip,
it, and you might get a sense of the madness. Although I don't think you will, because this is mad.
What do you say we come in for my close-up now?
What are your thoughts for the future?
shouldn't stand in the way of progress.
This is gonna be what it's gonna be. Here's the twist. Whoa!
The girl seems nice.
She is. She has no idea what's next.
There's a new sensibility now. People care about morals.
I've never done nothing except disappoint people my whole life. But I made it on my terms, not theirs. We are gonna be more than they ever bargained for.
What I do means something.
It's bigger than you.
And I'm going to bed.
I was enjoying the clip, and I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, that's always a risk. So, okay, I'm going to have the giggles for the rest of the day.
Oh, we're in big trouble now.
It is just madness. This whole movie, it opens up with this big party at a producer's house, and Margot Robbie pulls up and crashes straight into a fountain and falls out the door and says, "I'm supposed to be here." She's clearly a starlet. She's not famous yet. And he says, how can you be she says, I am a star, though. He says, what have you been in? She goes, I haven't been in any movies yet. He goes, how could you be a star? And she just goes, you either are or you aren't. And that's the way she plays it. It is chaos. It's backbiting and backstabbing. All the most gossipy stuff. And I am going to mention a podcast. I know we're not supposed to do that, but there's one very famous one called You Must Remember This, which is all about old Hollywood stories. And they did a whole series on this book called Hollywood Babylon, which I think this takes a lot of inspiration from, which is the first real gossipy insider. All the rumors and stuff. I think a lot of them weren't actually true, but it's all the rumors about, people like Clara Bow. Supposedly she was having affairs with this guy. And, there was a famous case about Fatty Arbuckle that ruined his career. Supposedly what he's done, all the gossip, supposedly people who were, taking drugs, all this sort of stuff. And it also goes to show you something I said to you off air. Every generation thinks that their rock stars invented, hedonistic living, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was always the case of the opulent from, Marie Antoinette and, Henry VIII did their own version of it to this. Once money started pouring into Hollywood, and this is a time where Bel Air is still a desert where they're out filming, opulence and extravagance, and there was no rules, no censorship. The censorship, a bit like this radio station, the censorship came later in response to what Hollywood was doing, and it was wild. You cannot take your eyes off Margot Robbie as this a girl who's willing to do anything and just has sheer belief, but just keeps on getting into trouble. She just can't, the girl can't help herself. She is the it girl, like Clara Bow, but just wild, full of talent. But then
what did you actually think of the movie?
Oh, okay. Is that, yeah, good point. I'm now getting is exactly what I've done here is both what's great and what's wrong with the movie, because it is so over the top. There's so many opinions. I've only just out of it, and I probably need a couple more hours to.
You're absolutely wired after it. That's what
yeah, absolutely. It is extravagant. There's so many brilliant bits. It's really funny. It's really funny, and then there's really sad in bits. But it is 3 hours, and it probably is too long.
Is there a break?
Bring back the intermission. That's what I say.
That's what I say. But, Can you not put a break in it in the cinema?
Well, no, we're not. We're technically not allowed. But because I was watching it on my own, I could put a break in it, and I went for a cup of tea halfway through. But it is as indulgent as the stars are itself. But I really enjoyed it. It is something spectacular. The opening party scene is like nothing I've ever seen.
Okay,
I
stop
really
you there.
enjoyed
We got the gist.
Yeah.
We got the gist. Okay. You got to see Megan with a 3.
Yes, I did.
Was Megan, it what we thought?
Yeah, it was. It was actually campier and funnier than I thought. And it isn't really that scary. I think, when you're 15, you'd enjoy being on the Friday night and squealing with your friends and then walking out and going, that wasn't really scary, was it? Which is exactly the right sort of scary movie for that age group. It is good fun. The doll is so campy. There's a bit where she bursts into singing Titanium that is laugh out loud funny, and they know what they're doing. She's supposed to be kind of like the Chucky dolls, especially the first couple of movies, that it was tongue-in-cheek. They were winking at the camera while trying to put up scares. Maybe later on it got a bit carried away. But I did enjoy it. And it goes to show you people have enjoyed it. It's only been out for 1 week. Sequels already lined up. They've decided just the reaction has been so good.
Here's one for you, right? It cost 12 million, right?
Yeah.
It has already made 95 million.
There's just no beating that. And as much fun as I had with Babylon and stuff, the amount of money it must make, because there's extras everywhere. There's no computers. That'll have to go a long way to make its money back. Megan, already 7 times profit. That is fantastic. Now, before I go on, because I'm getting carried away, you got to go to the cinema too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did get to
You went to the cinema as well.
I have been to the cinema. Yeah.
And you went to see?
I went to see. Oh yes, I did. I went to see Tom Hanks, and absolutely, really enjoyed the movie. Absolutely loved the movie. Absolutely, and I would recommend everybody go see this movie.
Yeah, A Man Called Otto. It's
Oh,
just,
man called Otto, by the way.
yeah, it's just good. It's just good fun, isn't it, Jamie?
is,
It's
yeah.
probably the opposite of the movies we talk about. Like
It
it's
has a
just-
few twists, though. It has.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it
probably
has a
I
little
didn't want to
twist.
give away too much last week because I knew you were going to go and see it. But there's a few bits and bobs that maybe you don't quite expect what's going to happen. But you're in safe hands with Tom Hanks, don't you? You just go,
Absolutely.
he's going to entertain me, and he certainly does. And as I said, it's been a secret hit, and it's been a weird month. At the start of this month, when we started off with Otto, I said to you, they think January is going to be a bad month, but there's some interesting movies. We had Empire of Light, which I really liked as well. We've had Creepy Isle Megan, which is good fun. Otto's been a surprise hit. We've Babylon this week, and next week we have another cinema movie, Meet the Fablemans, Steven Spielberg sort of autobiography. So it's a really interesting month. Never mind the naysayers. It's a good month to go to the cinema.
Okay, right. Okay. That's it on movies tonight. Thanks, Collie, as always. And enjoy your week at the movies. We'll be back here Thursday.
Thank you.
Ocean Drives films on Thursdays with Eclipse.